that convo app.
W resuming.
Will I? All right, guys, we're back. We're back in live. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but let's get right back to what we were talking about. So, if you guys weren't tuned in, let's get back into Pretty's introduction. You already met me and Alex in the last few episodes, but can you just give us a rundown of what you're about and what you go to school for?
Hey everyone. So I go to Thomas Jefferson University. I'm a pre-med major. I'm like in my third year right now, and I'm about to go into my senior year. And yeah, so I'm not replacing Michael. He's gonna be back, but I'm here for now.
Yeah, so Michael unfortunately couldn't step in today due to extenuating circumstances, but we still got Prit here. He's going to add any valuable insight that he has, and we're just going to continue our conversation as from the previous episode. We talked more about sports and the benefits of sports, how it's helped us through our experiences. And now we're going to move on to just exercise in general. And we're going to talk about how it makes us feel every day, what are the benefits, why you should partake in it, and things like that. And we left off with Alex kind of explaining his rationale for why he works out every day, why he continues to do the things he does to help himself physically. So, Alex, you want to pick back up on that?
Yeah, we were just talking about it was a why I work out, right?
Yeah, why you work out, why you keep going back to it, why is something you keep doing?
So I was saying that there's a short-term benefit and a long-term benefit from it. The short term is, you're looking good for, whatever reason you're working out, building muscle, burning excess fat, through calories or whatever means it may be through, like a treadmill or something like that, as well as, wrestling or any other sports, because exercise is like, so such a various topic, versatile topic, and you can, do any sort of activity in any sort of way, because just moving your body is healthy in any sort of capacity. Maybe except for sports like golf.
Oh, not much movement going on there.
They got the golf carts and all that.
But do you feel, I guess, anyway after a workout? It could be like a sense of accomplishment. It could be a sort of relaxing feeling, giving you mental clarity. Do you have anything noticeably different that happens when you work out, or is it all like based off aesthetics for you?
I think obviously the looks have like a big factor into it, because if you do it over and over again, you're gonna get better, regardless of what progress has been made.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the initial feeling is rewarding, because to go back to something day after day after day requires discipline, and not only are you rewarding yourself, because you beat whatever mental struggle, mental battle it is, because it can be struggling, saying, oh, I don't want to gym, oh, I don't want to work out today, oh, I don't want to run, right? But if you get through that mental barrier, a lot of good things are going to happen for you down that road. And that's just not for exercise. That's for, anything, It could be about an exam. It could be about, going on a date, whatever it might be. But going through stuff you don't want to do, but that is good for you, is, I think, something everybody could improve on.
So it made the kind of the threshold for other things like lower. So you're used to keeping on constantly going back and becoming disciplined. So it helps you stick to things more. Whereas the translation is direct from one thing to the next. It's like the same concept is what you're saying.
Yeah, for me, at this point in my lifetime, I think working out, whatever exercise it might be, if I'm not going on the treadmill, I'm gonna play basketball, right? But for me, it's just it's not like an optional activity. For me, it's like a mandatory thing that has to be done within the day. It's like, getting all your homework done. Something, people don't talk about, because for me, it's just such a basic necessity I need in my life.
Mm-hmm. Someone said, what is the topic today? Just reiterating, the topic is going to be about exercise in general today and the physical benefits. And just so you guys know, Alex was just talking about his experience with exercise, and he was just led into his talk about discipline and how it's helped him feel better that way, and that he can go attack different things with the same mentality that exercise has sort of teached him. And Prit, now we're gonna move on to you. Do you feel any physical benefits or any differently from doing exercise as opposed to, just lounging around? Like what do you do like for exercise?
I'm glad you asked. So for exercise, I go to the gym. Like 4 or 5 days a week. And I try to keep it in that range, and then like 1 or 2 days for rest. For me, exercise is like about one word, change. So, I go to that gym, and my goal is to look in the mirror one day and see a new man. You know what I'm saying? So every day you have to keep working at it because it's a long time goal. I feel like that's where most people fail, as Alex was saying. It's about dedication and discipline. And look at Alex, like he's able to do it, and he's not stopping here. Like he still has work to do. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about.
So it's also for motivational reasons for you as well, body image and things like that. Do you feel stronger? Let's just put it into perspective. Say you didn't go to the gym. How do you think you would feel, or what did you feel like before when you weren't partaking in any physical activity, or was that something always part of your life?
You know what they say, a healthy body is a healthy mind. So, like, I experience, like, the more I exercise, like, the more I feel more clear about yourself, You gain a little bit of confidence the more you go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of people, they take pictures in the mirror of themselves to, like, see their progress over the months. I tried doing that. It was not for me because,
Well, I think bring the mic a little closer. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah.
So, like, for me, like, I used to do that, but I thought it was, like, a little weird. So I stopped doing that. But, like, I have a, what's it called? Like, you step on it? I have a scale at home that I use. And the key is not to do it every day because, like, you won't see, like, change, like, if you do it every day. But, like, once per week is, like, what it was for me.
And I guess you have that dopamine response, feeling good, having that feeling of accomplishment. And I think that's one of the big things that exercise does is you can actually connect to your hormonal balances just from doing exercise. As we talked about, dopamine gives you that sense of accomplishment, and what better way to do it than exercise?
And for you, why do you work out?
I worked out in the beginning because I played a lot of sports. It was something that went hand in hand with sports. If you want to boost your performance in sports, doing exercise and doing targeted physical activity with the intention of, increasing muscle size, increasing endurance, that goes hand in hand with sports, and that's the most important. Sports was the most important thing for me, and if I wanted to increase my performance, that was the way to go. But I feel like as now that I'm getting into healthcare and physical therapy more, I'm thinking more about it from the science perspective, and I'm really seeing the benefits of everyday function and how muscles are needed for everyday tasks. You can't really function if you don't have the strength to go through certain ranges of motion. So I'm currently taking a class called Exercise Prescription, and we talk about the different exercises and planes of motion and different types of movements that people do every day. And I learned through that course that strengthening these areas are what help you to function every day. And if you can function every day, and if I can get people to function even at baseline every day, I think that'll be better for everyone.
What would you consider as like the baseline function area? Like what body fat percentage or how much exercise do you think you would need?
I don't think it's a matter of specifically body fat percentage. Of course, there's always a healthy range to be in, but I think it can be varied. I think just being able to do the everyday tasks of bending down, tying your shoes, picking heavier objects up, being able to travel from one place to the next without being overly fatigued and things like that. I think you be able to be able to get through the day without too much physical stress on you is the way to go. And what better way to do that than increase your strength so that you're not only prepared for it, but you're over prepared. So for example, if I can bench a certain weight, say 225, then that means that 135 should be easy. So if you kind of over prepare yourself through muscle gain and lifting weights, you kind of over prepare yourself for the everyday activities. So you walk through them like a breeze. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so I think that's important, just so people feel comfortable every day. It's not something they have to worry about.
But like at what age would you say that you should start paying attention to how you function, all that stuff? Because there's like little kids with moms out there that just overfeed them without care in the world.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think
Experience.
Yeah, I was 200 growing up.
yeah, I think it starts with the parents, because think about the amount of decision making that you were able to do when you were that young. Most of the decisions were being made by your parents. So I think the only way you can get to them is to inform the public. So your parents weren't informed about the risk that you had of being, I guess, would you say you were overweight?
Yeah, so like when I was overweight, I would tell them like stuff that I learned that like for diet and reasons like that. But my parents, I feel like they didn't really take my words seriously because I was like their child. But like let's say their friend like told them something, and that's working for them, they would believe them more than me. So like whatever I say would like fall on deaf ears, and they would just force me to eat, bro.
So yeah, I think it's complicated for things like that. It really depends on family to family. But I think as long as there's people out there that are doing things like we're doing, just getting the information out to the public so people know how to better, take care of themselves. And one person asked, how long did it take all of you to see your results in the gym or with any sport? What do you think was like the minimum where you're like, I'm going somewhere and I've made X amount of progress and I think this is working, I'm going to stick to it? When was the point for all of you guys?
So I did the same thing that you tried, picture a month.
Yeah.
But for me, I went on a crazy diet where like I kind of took out all unnecessary sugar and only took just the right amount of carbs I needed for a day. Because just working out is not good enough. You need to have some restriction on what you eat and implement some stuff about what you should include in your diet. But I'd say if you're building muscle, I think it took me 3 months, and then to get lean, it took me around 9 months to see my abs for the first time.
And realistically, that's not even a long time frame. 3 months just goes by like that. So
Yeah.
it's not something incredibly hard. When you really think about it, it may seem like it's so far away from you, but 3 months is only a short amount of time in our entire lifespan, especially as we go through life. 3 months is nothing.
3 months is not even.
Yeah, I saw some crazy like transformations on TikTok in 3 months. Like, bro gets absolutely shredded, bro. But like, I feel like the main thing about it is like, what you said, dedication. Like the first month will feel like an absolute drag unless you have like a high motivation to work out. But like even then, after a month, you like feel like, wow, this is taking too long. I'm tired. But like after that, I feel like if you can get through that, it becomes routine almost, and it's just like another part of your day.
Yeah, I agree. And then another point I want to make is about how doing exercise can actually get people outside. So now we have gyms and stuff. Of course, lifting weights mostly happens inside in a facility, but things like running, playing sports, all happen outside. And the one major key and benefit of being outside is sun exposure. You guys, of course, probably heard about vitamin D and all the benefits that it gives you from the sun. But there's actually a lot more that goes into it. I'm gonna kind of go on a little scientific rant right now, but it'll give you guys more insight into why the sun is so good. So you guys know you guys all took Bio 1 just like me, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was 2 years ago for me.
2 years ago, maybe I'll
Why don't you jog my memory? You know?
yeah, maybe I'll help you bring back recall of some things. But you guys know the mitochondria, right? It's the one of the main powerhouse of the cell, right?
Oh, what were you? What were you about to say?
No, go ahead.
No, I just want to say powerhouse.
Powerhouse of the cell. That's what everyone knows, right?
Yeah.
And the powerhouse of the cell, what is its main point? What is the main purpose of the powerhouse of the cell?
Produce ATP.
Yeah, produce ATP. There you
That's what
go.
I'm saying.
Energy.
So good at bio, bro.
The
Thank
cool
you.
thing about the sun is that it actually reduces your need to make ATP. So just like in plants, you know how plants is the main energy source. Sun is the main energy source for plants. The science actually supports this for humans as well. They saw a similar structure between chlorophyll, which is the green pigment that is light intaking and converts it to energy. And they saw similarities with hemoglobin. And then there's a whole science that goes around it, but the end product is that the light you intake actually gets absorbed and it goes into your blood plasma. And blood plasma is 93% water. And of course, you have all the other minerals and salts in there. But the cool thing there is to it is that you're pretty much energizing and charging the blood plasma. And in the end, when you do this, you get the products of, I don't know for sure, I might be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure it's hydrogen, another element, and electrons. And the fact that you have these byproducts of the uptake of the light makes your energy system of your mitochondria more efficient. So the mitochondrial DNA can do this with the sunlight, making your energy stores efficient and thus requiring you to use less ATP. And you know where ATP comes from? It comes from the breakdown of glucose and water, which is the two reactants in the reaction for. Do you guys remember this?
Glycolysis.
Glycolysis. Yep. And then
ETC.
oxidative
Phosphorylation.
phosphorylation. There you go. The two parts for what the mitochondria does. That-
W's.
Yeah. So that's just a cool thing. If you're making going out in the sun literally makes your body's energy more efficient, or energy system more efficient. And that kind of shows how being in the sun, of course, I'm not going to say it's a replacement, but it's literally giving you energy. So when we talked about sedentary lifestyle, right? People who are sedentary tend to be inside. They tend to eat a lot of food and be overweight. And your body is always craving energy, right? But the fact that you're outside, you're literally technically getting energy straight from the sun. So if you have energy straight from the sun outside, it kind of reduces your need to have food. And then reducing your need to have food takes away the problem of obesity, lack of energy, and things like that. So you can solve a lot of the world's problems just by getting outside.
So you're saying the sunlight enters the oxidative phosphorylations?
No, it doesn't. That cycle is part of the production of ATP by the food that you eat. But what happens is when the sun comes in, it hits it connects with the water in your the blood plasma. Excuse me, the blood plasma. It charges that blood plasma because of all the minerals and stuff in the water,
Right.
and the fact that it's 93% water, and technically it's making a quantum battery, which I talked about, produces electrons in the end. And the fact that it's able to produce these byproducts means that your energy system is a lot more efficient. So if your body is more efficient with its energy system, it doesn't need to be pumping out ATP. Do you know what I mean? By being more efficient, you're not needing external things to fuel you.
Because you need less ATP.
Yeah, because you need less ATP. You're making the whole energy system more efficient.
So let's say, can you like replace sunlight by going outside by taking, let's say, a supplement, for example?
No, I don't, because you're not really getting, no supplement can really give you direct light energy such as the sun. So you can supplement with certain things, but I don't think it'll ever replace just getting out there in the sun.
You got some good questions, man.
Thank you,
Yeah.
bro.
So did you guys know anything about that or know that crazy impact of the sun? I feel like the most common known thing is just vitamin D when people talk about the sun. You know what I mean?
You know, I learned something new today.
Yeah, you learn something new.
From Sahan Coin.
Yeah. There's a lot of surprising things. Exercise. Why do people even go outside? All of the work happens inside, and the only thing that can really get you outside is doing some exercise, going out for a run, playing sports, stuff like that. Unless you work jobs outside. But I think sun exposure is definitely a big part of exercise, and you kind of get a 2-in-1. You're doing your exercise, getting your sunlight in, getting your energy up, and I think in the end everyone's gonna feel better too. But yeah, that was my little ramble about the sun and all of its benefits. But yeah,
I feel very educated. Thank you for your questions. And
So,
thank you for your
like,
answers.
How much sunlight do you think I would need? You know, because if I'm on the beach too long, I'll get sunburned. And I'll get cancer.
yeah. So there's that as well. I don't know all of the specifics, but people use SPF. There's a certain amount of UV light that you need, as well as infrared light. People think UV light is, of course, it is harmful at certain exposures, but through the science, this is all this information that I've known. I hope I'm relaying it correctly. Some of my facts might be wrong, but it's from this doctor named Jack Cruz, who's a neurosurgeon, and he's very educated about this. I don't know exactly the facts about what is too much sun exposure. I know he says to get up in the morning, and getting up in the morning kind of sets your circadian clock. You guys know about circadian rhythm, right?
Yeah, can you give us a quick debrief on that?
Yeah, circadian rhythm is pretty much your body's cycle coming up with the sun. You know how people say you're supposed to wake up with the sun?
Is that why people open like the curtains in the morning?
Yeah, because pretty much the darkness, the fact that you're getting later in the day, our body naturally produces melatonin, which is the substance we need to go to sleep. And our body naturally produces, but some people might take supplements just to help with it. But I don't know the other hormone or thing that gets us up in the morning. But whatever the reverse of melatonin is what gets us up in the morning as well. So our circadian rhythm is kind of our body's internal clock of when to get up and then when to go to sleep, pretty much.
So then, how would you say like items like sunscreen or like the melanin in our skin affects how much sunlight we need and how beneficial it is?
Wait, can you repeat that one more time?
How do you think like products like sunscreen and the melanin in our skin like affects how much sunscreen, like how beneficial it is?
I think certain people who, of course, have melanin is kind of the pigment in us that, differentiates our skin color and other things. I don't know all of the specific details. I couldn't really tell you what is too much or too little, but I think everyone just needs to get out in the sun, at least in the morning, especially in those morning hours. The sun is not directly blaring on us, and I don't think anyone really gets sunburned crazy in the morning. So that's another thing to go. I think just getting outside in general is really helpful for everyone. But yeah.
Yeah, I know like stepping out in the sun is like feels nice every now and then.
Yeah,
Like,
does
that's
it
why-
feel like it gets you up at all, or you feel a boost of energy?
Yeah, I feel more awake in the sun, and everyone needs a breath of fresh air.
I also notice when I am doing schoolwork, I'm more productive if I just have some natural light coming in anyway. I don't know if you guys feel the same.
Yeah, I kind of thinking about it. It's like, don't you think there's like some correlation why school starts so early?
Yeah.
You know, when the sunlight's already there. So by your time your first classes at like 8 a.m. or something, you're already getting that natural like energy and sunlight.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I think everyone should be getting up with the sun, and people might not think it, but going to sleep at 4 a.m. I know sometimes we all happen to do it, but you don't really know how detrimental it is to us until you start falling into all of these um, different things. It could be depression, could be road down to weight loss. I think fixing sleep is also like a big part of sun exposure as well.
Sleep is like you need a lot of sleep for weight loss too, right? Like it helps like the more rest you have. The
Yeah,
more
because your
fat you
body's
burn.
recovering from everything going on during the day, and sleep is probably your main regenerative source because it's when your body can rest, put all its energy towards repairing and restoring for the next day. So yeah. So back to exercise in general. We just talked about the sun, getting exposure. I don't know all the details, but I gave you guys the best that I got, and I know for a fact if you get in the sun, it does so many wonders and great benefits for you. But now, I kind of want to talk just more about experience. So, going back to increasing the muscles, increasing muscle size and things like that. Besides just looks and stuff, have you guys noticed that you feel better? Do you notice that when you're not lifting or in shape, that it's harder to move, or you feel a certain way, or does it affect you when you're not training? Do you notice any difference at all?
Well, I just feel like the more that you work out, I just feel like the more energy that you have for the day, like you feel more energized, and you can notice it too. Like let's say you're going up a flight of stairs, it's way easier now than like let's say 50 pounds fatter. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's just like about how you feel when like in your daily life, pretty much.
Uh, I would take it as energy. You know, it's some built up energy you have inside, and it's important to get that energy out one way or the other. I know there's scientific reasoning about working out at the beginning of the day, right? Because you get the energy out. But I feel like if you get too much energy out, you would just be tired. But I
Hmm.
know it's like works different for different people. But I think getting that energy out is like optimal for everyone, and that's just like I think just science, you know.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's harder to go to sleep at the end of the day as well. Like, say if you've gotten up, haven't done much stuff throughout the day, even falling asleep is harder. And then the fact that you're not even entering a deep sleep is affecting your recovery for the morning. Then you're just waking up tired, and then the cycle probably repeats all over again.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone should be a morning person. I feel like that's what.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone should strive for. Of course, there are jobs and limiting circumstances, but I think that's something that everyone should shoot for. Um, One person asked, "What advice would you guys all give to a young man who wants to start a healthy lifestyle?" Just basics. Step one, what am I gonna do?
I think step one probably make a plan of what you need to improve on. So it's the diet. You know, you want cardio. So weight loss, right? Or just lifestyle.
Just healthy lifestyle.
Yeah. So then lifting up weights, keeping track of in and out of your body. Develop a schedule. You know, because bad habits lead to, you know, it's like the road to self-destruction. You should identify the bad habits and replace them with good ones. But it's a really, really long journey, and I think every successful man should go down that path at one point. You know, where they need to fix their old habits. But it's unique to everyone. But the hardest part, I think, is starting. You know, before you even discipline and dedication become a factor,
So I guess you just need a plan of where you want to be, pretty much.
and what you want. You know.
Yeah. Well, I guess for people who don't really know where to start, where would you recommend those people go? Seek help from others, or what do you think? Just start online, or you know what I mean? What would you do?
Well, I would say like you would have to find like a motivator. You need to set a routine. Like your motivation, you could just ask your friend to like come to the gym with you. You know, like anything along those lines. But you just need to find a reason to go to the gym every day. And like you won't, it'll be hard to notice at first. Like just recently, even I Like I lost 20 pounds recently, but I didn't really notice because I look at myself every day. It was like my friends and my mom had to tell me that, wow, you look skinnier than you used to. So I would say, yeah, it's a long journey, but first you need to like come up with a plan of like how like what you're gonna do, set a time for yourself, maybe look around for memberships or even just like go on a walk or something because even passive movement, like a little bit more movement in your daily life can go a long way. Like I know I used to walk at least 10,000 steps a day, and that really like even though it seems little, like it did a lot for like my routine and just passive calorie burning. And yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just something you have to keep going at and eventually make it part of your routine and something you can stick to. Of course, you have to develop your routine over time, but I think first starting with the goals, it could be visually, you can pull up a picture of someone, but I think the first step, especially for someone who doesn't really know where they want to get to, the first step should be diet. I always say diet because in the end, when I started lifting and working out, it all really circled back to my diet. Am I getting in the right nutrition every day? Am I eating super nutrient dense foods? So I would prioritize that first because I think people can see a lot of benefits from the food that they eat more than or faster than physical changes such as from lifting weights. I think they can see both physical changes and um, notice notice mental changes as well with the food they eat.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I agree with you. Like everyone says that like what you eat is more important than what you do in the gym. And I would say like even you can set small like goals for yourself instead of like trying to jump right away. Like you could say, in a week I'll lose maybe 5 pounds instead of like saying, oh, I'm gonna be shredded. And like other small goals like, oh, maybe I won't eat that cookie today. Like just small little steps to eventually, what you'll be like your diet essentially. Because a lot of people get into like trendy diets that they see, they jump in right away and they can't handle it because it's just too much for them
Yeah, it's
all at the
not
same
not
time.
sustainable. It's something that they really can't stick to. And I think just finding something where you're able to get in all of your micronutrients, and those are all of the trace elements and vitamins, while also being able to hit your protein is probably the most important thing guys should do, or anyone should do every day, because the protein is going to help you recover during your sleep and at night and rebuild any muscle tears that you've made through weightlifting. And then the micronutrients is going to pretty much help with your bodily function because it each of them is important to what you do. So I think people should, I guess, research those foods first, then come up with a comprehensive diet. Of course, there's dietitians out there that can help with this, and we have a lot of resources as well at Healing Your Way who can deal with this and give the public some pointers. So I think diet's the main thing to focus on first, and then exercise can follow, of course, which is something we all advocate for. Yeah. Someone said, I've heard about red light having a lot of benefits, helping with health issues. Do you feel it's the same as going out in the sun? I guess this question is more for me. Let's see. Uh, have you guys had red light therapy before at all?
No.
No, I've never tried it.
So I'm gonna go into a little bit about my concussion. I had a concussion in 7th grade. I was at a soccer tryout. This was for the first team, so this was like my big move. I was really getting up there. So I got the ball. I think I was playing cam, center attacking mid. I was going up, just dribbling. I see my little hole to go slide through. I took the dribble. Some defender on their team just took me out from behind. I flew back. I did like a matrix move, but I don't think I did it right because I ended up with a concussion. But I went all the way back and hit probably around the back of my head on the ground, and I'd say it was the feeling of being knocked out because I went black for just a minute. My headspace was totally black, and when I got up, I was kind of dizzy and discombobulated, I guess you could say. But I was all over the place. But then I thought I was okay, and then the next couple days I noticed sensitivity to light, headaches, and stuff like that. And my family's been through this before because my brother had a pretty severe concussion at a young age. So, and my mom and dad are all the founders of Healing Away and already into holistic remedies and therapies. And they came across red light therapy, which I have right here. This is one of the paddles that we use. The light comes through here, and we apply it for different protocols for whatever you're trying to work. For the concussion protocols, there's acupuncture points on your head that they focus on. Of course, it's different for every body part, but I will go get the red light from these people called Newhouse. They're the ones who introduced Healing Way, or my mom and dad, to red light therapy. And of course, you don't feel anything from it. It's just like a little heat, and the red light is just on top of those pressure points. But over the course of about 2 to 3 months, I started getting back to normal. Like, my mental clarity was back to normal. It just felt like I recovered from an injury normally. But the thing is that the thing that I didn't know is I was kind of the lucky person, because I've seen so many stories about people who went on recovering from concussions without a therapy like this. And I look at them and see how I recovered so much better than them. Sometimes those people used to be A students, but then the concussion set them back and they never recovered properly or healed through things like red light therapy. And then those people came back to school and they were pretty much never the same. So that's my experience with red light therapy. I don't know if you guys have had concussions before, any like similar things, but yeah, that's my take on it.
So you feel like the red light set you apart from like all those other people you were talking about?
Yeah, I know it has healing properties and things like that. The light we get from the sun, of course, is covers all wavelengths of light, but I don't know the exact specific wavelength that they use, but it's either red or infrared light, and apparently it's very good for recovery and healing. And as I mentioned before, Dr. Jack Cruz, he's made it a part of the work that he does. And he said that when, like I said, he's a neurosurgeon, and he said if preferably in his practice, he would even prefer to do his surgeries in the sunlight outside because of the healing benefits that it also has. Because there's regenerative properties and other things like that. I'm not too specifically sure, but there's just a lot of good benefits. And red light therapy is one way you can really target a certain area to help regenerate and recover.
Yeah, I heard like waves and wavelengths can do like crazy stuff, like with like crystals and stuff, how they amplify. And also, like, I heard there was like this one doctor that used like wavelengths as anesthesia instead of like drugs and chemicals.
I think, what did he used it on? What was it? It was on a certain animal, right?
Yeah, I think he tested on animals first, and then he tested on himself too, I think.
And he was able to kind of sedate himself from the frequency.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff and that goes on with light and our human biology. That's just like another topic I would like to know, because I think if someone can really understand that, then they can really focus on reaping all the benefits of getting sun exposure and things like that. And I think there's just a lot to go with it. Oh, guys, we got dono time. We got a $20 dono from MP4 Change. So Let's give a round of applause to that dono.
Doubles in the chat.
Thank you, MP4 Chain.
Yeah, but talking about light, there's just a lot of cool things, and I really want to get into learning more about the research so I can, let everyone here know exactly the scientifics behind it. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff with red light therapy, and a lot of regenerative stuff as well, especially with eyesight too, and pretty much everything.
I heard about how blue light was bad for your eyes, like looking at your phone at night. Is that have to do like opposition of red light or?
Yeah, so I think the wavelengths and frequencies do matter. Blue light for some reason is in the range that is not good for you. I couldn't tell you exactly why, but the most desirable wavelengths for us would be 380, which is the UV. People, it's like contradicting to a lot of people because the UV shown to cause skin cancer and stuff like that if not protected correctly. But 380 nanometers and 1280. So red light and UV light are the best ones for our body.
And this is relatively new technique, right?
I can't really say how old the technique is, but I think it's something that's like being brought more to the surface level, and I think it's good that we put it out there for everyone. Because say if there was someone like me who just had a concussion, this is a simple and effective therapy for them to get done to get them back to normal, like I did. Because who knows, I could have ended up pretty badly, but I think I was okay after a little bit.
Have you experienced a lot of therapies?
Experienced a lot of therapies. The therapies that I've experienced include the red light, as I just talked about. It includes acupuncture. I've gotten Traeger, and I also do Traeger. Alex, you've gotten Traeger. So Traeger is like manual therapy that's very gentle. I take the body through different ranges of motion, and the goal of the client is to relax while I work on them, and I'm trying to bring them to a state of relaxedness and calmness, so that they kind of feel free from motion. How did you feel for your experience with Traeger?
So with Traeger, I was practiced on by your brother, Joshan.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt very tense before, but afterwards I felt like opened up a little bit. And then apparently like there were some concerns that were brought that I didn't even know until Joshan told me. Like including my right hamstring and my right ankle, apparently they were locked up and they never were like stretched out properly or whatever it might be.
And it wasn't something that was brought to your
It
attention
was
before.
never brought to my attention. And then afterwards I felt so much better because like obviously all that relaxation,
Mm-hmm.
really put me in a better state and mind.
Who do you like? What population do you think it could help? People dealing with what type of issues you think that could help with?
I think it's available for a pretty large target audience. It could obviously the elderly are always considered in this, but even young like athletes, who might have not got the right treatment or stress or whatever. This can apply to anyone, because again I was not in a state. I played so many sports, but I never knew there was something messed up with my ankle
Mm-hmm.
or my hamstring.
Yeah.
Like maybe something happened to you and you wouldn't, like in the gym or something, maybe you extended something over and you wouldn't know until you had that experience.
Yeah, and then it kind of stops you from getting to that stage of when the muscle or problem that you're having becomes serious. You know what I mean? You can address it early on.
I'm very grateful for that experience.
Yeah.
So if in the gym one time I was doing shoulder press and I accidentally I went too far and I let go of my hand and went all the way back, like it rotated in a bad way. Would you say like Traeger would help me with that? Like I don't know how experienced you are.
So were you in a lot of pain after that happened?
I think it was because of the adrenaline. I wasn't in a lot of pain, but I could like do my daily activities. But I noticed that later when I would go to the gym, I would feel like discomfort if I do the movement of putting my hand up in the air like this.
Mm. So Traeger, what we can really do is we can see all of your movement, how your body's reacting to certain things. Oh, we just got another dono, guys. $10 from Limbo 3. So let's give all a round of applause for them.
Thank
They
you.
said really love your work, guys, and an enjoyable podcast. We appreciate the kind words. We're doing our best and doing our greatest possible job to get all this information out to you guys. Yeah, but yeah, back to what you were saying about your shoulder.
I think you were talking.
Oh, I was talking. Yeah. So as far as Traeger, what I can do is I can feel in my hands and kind of notice what's ranges of motion are hurting your body the most. Then the thing about Traeger is that whenever you experience like crazy trauma in the form of an injury, what I can do is kind of make your body feel more relaxed and comfortable in going through that range of motion again. So say if someone's knee was taken out, right? And the work that we do, the manual therapy that we do is super gentle. So what I'm doing is I'm making your body feel comfortable in a way where you don't have to resist that anymore. You don't have to resist that movement because it's such a traumatic injury, and you probably have like a reflex to it, right? Whenever your shoulder goes back in that certain way, like that memory of your injury is triggered. Would you say that's the case?
I'm definitely way more self-conscious about like doing the same thing again.
Yeah. So that's what that's the beautiful thing about Traeger is that we can kind of make you feel comfortable in getting into that range of motion again, so you don't have to be in fear of it again. Do you know what I mean?
So would you say Traeger is like more like a massage instead of like, you know, something like chiropractic or like that one thing where they put cups on your back?
Oh, cupping.
Yeah, cupping.
So it is a manual therapy. It's done with the hands. There's not a lot of crazy aggressive jerking motion or deep tissue work like in massage. It's very gentle. There's a lot of contact. It's just some rocking motions, elongation, some stretching, some tissue work in the feet. I'm only level 1, so I only know the basic protocol for the supine position, which is facing up, and prone position, which is facing down. And that's the one you've experienced, and I think you said you had a good experience with it overall. So
10 out of 10 recommend.
yeah. And also, if you guys are wondering, I am still level 1. I need to get my patients in. So if any of you guys want to experience this treatment, it is completely for free because it is under my practice hours for patients. And I promise I will do my best for you guys. I won't hurt you guys. And I really think that it's an amazing service that everyone should know about. But yeah, that was my little plug for them. But yeah, I think maybe we can get you in for a session.
If it's free, then sign me up.
Yeah.
Like a new experience doesn't hurt now and then, you know.
Yeah.
Always out to try new things.
Did you get any therapy for your shoulder incident?
No, I just toughed it out.
Or you just toughed it out?
Yeah, it took a while though. It took like 2 months, 3 months, but if I went to that Traeger thing, it probably would have been a way better experience.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you think? And the fact that do you know what exercise you were exactly doing it on?
Shoulder press with dumbbell,
yeah, you
dumbbell
said.
shoulder press.
So that you kind of fell back in your movement a little bit, like you were unstable.
Yeah, so I was like in a 90-degree position, and then once I reached the top, like I guess I lost control, and like my elbow, I mean not my elbow, my shoulder like shifted back, back here.
Another good treatment for that is acupuncture. My dad does acupuncture. He has a lot of he actually has a lot of specialty with the shoulder. He has a protocol named after himself, Coyne's Motion Style Acupuncture Technique, KMSAT. That's what he did his thesis on in acupuncture school. So he's pretty well versed in that. Acupuncture can help with a lot of things. My dad's been on the podcast before. He's talked about all of the benefits for it, but one of the things that I personally go to him for is pain management and managing any tight muscles that I have. Um, what people call it in Western medicine is dry needling. I don't know if you guys have heard of that before. It's seen in some physical therapy clinics, but the goal is that they use the needle, they'll stimulate the muscle, and usually they'll find a point where they're able to have like a pop sensation. It's not like a balloon pop, it's like a muscle twitch. So what happens, your muscle starts spazzing and twitching a little bit, and then it releases down. And once you like massage it a little bit, apply some pressure, you'll feel much looser. And it's literally like imagine you had a whole contracted muscle, whether it's from a cramp or something, and he literally stimulates it with the needle, and it induces that muscle twitch, and then it calms down. It's cool to see on video because you can really see that muscle twitching, and then after the whole twitching is done, it kind of settles down and relaxes. The day or two after, you're a little bit sore because of the scar tissue that the needle creates, but say like within a week, say I pulled something and it was super tight and I got the dry needling or acupuncture, a week later I was perfectly fine. And this was coming from a person who's playing sports constantly. I was doing something every day, and I was probably training or outside or doing some activity for around 2 to 3 hours per day, which I would think is a lot. And without it, I think I would have had a lot more injuries as well.
Do you know a lot about acupuncture? Like, have you tried it, doing it yourself?
So I'm planning on pursuing it as well because I think it's something that's super effective. I haven't learned too much about it. Hopefully, as I get into the anatomy courses that I have next year, I can, learn more about the body, be more aware about it. I'm picking up some of the acupuncture books and starting to read just to get a gist of the major concepts. But I think it's just going to be a work in progress for me. But it's definitely something I want to be working towards, though.
So you would say it's a lot of anatomy and physiology?
Yeah, of course. It's very anatomy and physiology heavy. And then there's also their Chinese medicine principles that play into it. In herbology, herbology is also very tied with acupuncture as well. Hopefully, I'll be able to get into that. But I think my mind and understanding will open once I really understand the anatomy.
So with acupuncture, they're poking like the muscle tissue and not like any nerves or anything, right? And it's like and they don't hurt, do they? Like
So the needles are, if I had to compare it, it's as thin as a hair. So it's not really hurting you, but when you have more sensitive spots, it's really gonna tingle and you might feel a sharp pain because, of course, it's a needle going into your body. But I would say it depends on the points that the person is using. My dad's a very specialized acupuncturist, and the practitioners that we have, we just took on Monica and Marvin, who are new acupuncturists at our clinic. They're both amazing. When you have well-trained professionals like that, they know what they're doing. They can gauge whether it's something that the patient's going to feel a little tenderness on, or if it's something that is just going to be smooth and easy. So it really depends on the situation at hand.
But no one ever like freaked out or anything, right, in the clinic with the needles?
No, I don't think so. I think our practitioners have done a very well job of meeting all the patient's needs, making them feel comfortable as possible, because you don't want them to be stressed out on the bed, especially when you're performing something with actual needles. So yeah, never had any issues of that sort. But yeah. I think we're just about wrapping up on time. Any other closing thoughts or remarks for today?
I learned a lot today.
You learned a lot. Yeah, mostly it was a yap session for me, but I think it's important that you guys and the audience got to know a little bit more about sun exposure, and I hope you really guys just check out Jack Cruz. That guy has a lot of information on diet as well as sun exposure. Like I said before, he's a neurosurgeon. And he's really good at what he does. So I would say check out his information because he has a lot of good stuff to share.
I definitely learned stuff I had no idea about before.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start looking into a sunroom for my house.
Yeah,
that.
just something to get out there. Yeah. Anything else from you, Alex?
Oh, thank you so much for reviewing.
Yeah.
and
Yep.
staying with us.
Yeah. Thank you guys for.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Also, thank you so much for Prit for coming in on late notice for Michael as well. You
Happy
did.
to be here.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. And thank you guys for donating. We really appreciate all your support. And yeah.